As a course builder, you have a decision to make. Do you make your course an evergreen course, or do you make it facilitated or scheduled? An evergreen course is a course that people can jump into and start as soon as they purchase. It's designed to be at the pace of the user based on when they start. A facilitated one is where I say, hey, look, we're going to start a 6 or an 8-week course, and it starts on, July 1st, and it's going to go all the way through September 1st. So it's a specific date. And you, as the consultant or as the coach, are very involved. You're actually delivering content, typically live, as part of that. Now, when you're deciding which one to do, there are a couple things to consider. Evergreen courses as an administrator are the easiest. It doesn't require any of your involvement, so that's always nice. And one disadvantage of a scheduled or a facilitated course is you have to get everybody lined up to start on a certain day, so your promotion of it can't be done over time or evergreen. It's almost like it has to be done as a launch. Everybody has to, maybe you spend 3 or 4 weeks leading up, pushing people into the course. And then if you're like, let's say a month into the course, you almost have to stop people. So here you might have a very interested buyer, and you get the frustration of not being able to let them in because the course is closed until, let's say, you offer another section. So those are two things that you have to consider. Now, evergreen courses are really good for topics that require a lot of illustration, a lot of description of what it is, but your students are less likely to run into something that gets them stuck, something that's frustrated. So they don't necessarily need to be guided or pushed through. Also, if it's a topic that doesn't require a lot of motivation, Evergreen ends up being a really good way to go about it as well, because you don't have to worry about people getting stuck and not completing. Now, a big advantage of having a facilitated course, especially if you have a difficult topic, is twofold. First of all, it gives people the security of having someone they can go to. So if they have a question, they can always raise their hand and get a question answered, either during the live sessions, if that's the format you choose, or if you're using, like, let's say, a Facebook group or a forum that gives people, access to you. And I highly recommend, by the way, Facebook groups in particular, because they end up being just a very good way to interact, not just with yourself, but with other people in the course, so that if you're not available right away, someone else in the course might be saying, hey, I know the answer to that. And now you have like a built-in customer support group, as well as building that peer-to-peer networking, which for a lot of courses is advantageous. Now, when you're doing a facilitated course, so let's say you're doing something that's fairly difficult. People are building something like for example, our courses are on membership building, and it takes specific steps. And people, depending on their level of experience or their technology savvy, they may run into issues. And if you're giving them a week's course, and then you give them some homework, and then you're meeting up again, first of all, there's a maximum of a week when people can be completely stuck. But just as important, you have you can get that feedback. And then you can see if, as a group, people are getting stuck, and then you can make adjustments. So it's a lot like a course that you might teach, at an in-person, even at a college, where, if people are falling behind, you can kind of address the common issues and then keep people moving. So keep in mind that as you're building these courses, one key element is you want people to get through it. You don't want people to go buy a course and then hop out. I mean, you still make the money, assuming, you don't have to give money back. But what you want is for those people to be thrilled, for them to finish the course, for them to be excited to tell others about how great their experience was. They give you a good testimonial and all that sort of thing. So, evergreen versus facilitated, there are some pros and cons. And this is a decision you have to make as you're going through, your course building process.